The man who has missed several key words despite staring at the prompter the entire time.
You know, he could hit every last note for the remainder of the song, and I still don't know if that would be enough to turn this thing around.
Man in the Mirror is the big leagues, so you better show up with your A game.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. Welcome to the program. As always, you're invited here if you want to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. The mask madness continues to expand. I was just saying, I think it was last night on the show, that it's nice to not have a bunch of coronavirus news to talk about because we've been talking about other things.
Yeah.
Ever since the protests broke out, basically, the news has changed. What sorts of news is available is different now than it has been for the last, most of the year at this point. But the masks are back, and in some places they haven't left. It's still apparently illegal to not wear a mask if you're in Massachusetts, in that state jurisdiction, and then I think there's a few other states that are similar. And surprisingly, California had not yet gone on that bandwagon, but that has now changed.
I'm still confused about whether or not we're supposed to be wearing a mask right now, as far as like the legality in New Hampshire. Like, is it in New Hampshire required? Because
no.
I know people aren't wearing masks, but that's why I'm.
To my understanding, there is not a governor's order in place requiring masks at this point, nor was there at any point, from what I understand, in New Hampshire.
Okay, so the masks people are wearing are voluntary, technically.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
I have not by any
not
means,
a lawyer. I got you right.
Well, I have not read the 50+ governor's orders. I suspect most people haven't.
No,
right? So
no, I haven't. Definitely not.
Nobody's read them.
Right. Oh, by the way, joining you in the studio tonight, my name's Ian
and Chris,
and nobody.
Yes. So now, Sacramento. That's where the Los Angeles Times is reporting. It took 3 whole people to write this article: Phil Whelan, Hannah Fry, Luke Money. Governor Gavin Newsom on Thursday ordered all Californians to wear face coverings while in public or high-risk settings, including when shopping, because that's high risk in California, according to the government, taking public transit, or seeking medical care, after growing concerns that an increase in coronavirus cases has been caused by residents failing to voluntarily take that precaution. Newsom's order came a week after Orange County rescinded a requirement for residents to wear masks, as other counties across California were debating to join local jurisdictions that had mandated face coverings. So you got one county, Orange County, rescinding their requirement, while others are saying they want to have them.
It seems kind of odd that they would be rescinding. Was there backlash against the masks?
I sure hope so.
Well, it seems like it was like something like 80% of the population was on board with the masks, which is kind of why I'm a little surprised, unless they're angry about the government making it mandatory, which then kind of makes sense.
Have there been, now when you say 80%, this is your personal...
No, this is what I was reading.
You saw
somewhere.
some sort of study?
At some point.
Is that nationwide?
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it was a while ago, and it was like some sort of questionnaire of people on the street, I think.
I wonder about, so like a man on the street thing.
Yeah,
not the same as a scientific
right?
study.
No, by no stretch of the imagination.
It would be interesting to see, though, like to have polls done in different states.
And I don't know if it was manipulated, or I don't know if it was like maybe in certain areas. I mean, I think it's probably fair to say in certain areas you're going to have a higher percentage of people who are in support of.
And I would think
areas.
California would be a high mask-wearing kind of place. There's a lot of fear in the government apparatus there that they've been propagating.
But from what I was seeing, on, I mean, again, I'm not intimately following this stuff, but from what I have seen, it seemed like the projection was that people weren't wearing masks in California.
And that's what Newsom is complaining about here. He says, simply put, we're seeing too many people with faces uncovered, putting at risk the real progress we've made in fighting the disease. California's strategy to restart the economy and get people back to work will only be successful if people act safely and follow health recommendations. That means wearing a face covering, washing your hands, and practicing physical distancing. Well, are they recommendations?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
or are they orders? Because that's still not real clear now, is it?
Is it? Well, no, it sounds like it is because
now it's an order.
Now it's certainly they passed a law that you just said, right?
That's not a law.
Oh, okay, an order. So it has the effect of law, though, right?
But it shouldn't. So
okay.
that's sort of the legal conundrum that these orders have created is the governor says jump, people jump, and then if somebody doesn't jump, some men with guns come after them, which I just heard about a gym owner recently here in Keene, New Hampshire that had Keene police threatening him because he was allowing, allegedly, his customers to come in and work out in the gym. Somebody snitched him out. And the cops came, and the cops threatened this person. So every now and then you got a person who doesn't jump when the governor says to jump. And that makes the governor look bad, right? Because it's important for everyone to jump. And so
I kind of thought he started looking bad when he started telling people to jump.
Well, I agree with you, right? But from the perspective of the statist, it looks bad, right? You want to have total compliance.
What looks bad to me is the fact that he would issue orders in the first place.
I agree.
I don't really have any objection to him, like I wouldn't have any objection to anybody else, giving their thoughts on masks and or other
right. If you care what
things to keep you safe, if you feel that there is a safety issue here,
right? If you care what this lying scumbag thinks, then you should listen to him.
But
otherwise, don't. I'm not saying you. I'm talking about you, the person who would care about that. Like you said, make a recommendation.
But this is the crazy thing is like people, they look at these government officials and act as if they're somehow, this all knowledgeable, all knowing force when they're not.
That's a huge problem.
They're below, their knowledge is less than that of people who are like actually experts in that area. And when they twist stuff for political purposes, you can't then trust them later, and then it's like it doesn't make sense. So to go and listen to, I haven't been really following very closely like what the politicians have said, but I have looked, and not as much lately, but I have looked at like what people are saying who are more knowledgeable on like how diseases spread. And it's certainly interesting. And one of the things that people who are not lying to you are going to say is they're going to continue to say we don't have enough information to make any kind of judgment in so many areas, and we're just taking it's more like a guess. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're protecting yourself from a possible risk, but we don't know how great that risk is.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I'm going to go about life as though there is no risk, because I don't, to me, if there's just the potential for something to go wrong, well, that's always the case in my life. I just drove here from the Jamaican restaurant, and there is a potential that some lunatic is going to careen around a corner and T-bone my car at some point. In fact, it's probably a much higher potential of that happening, some sort of terrible car wreck or slipping in the bathtub, or, you fill in the blank of accidents that happen on a regular basis to people that have a statistical much more likelihood of happening to you than catching some mysterious illness that people don't really know that much about, and honestly hasn't really been that bad, all things considered. We just talked about Belarus, for instance, within the last couple of nights here on the show, which has been very interesting. They've had no crackdown.
Have you guys seen like the numbers, like comparison wise, as far as
there's been as many deaths in Belarus?
Yeah, but what I'm more curious
as there
about
have been in New Hampshire, and they have 10 times.
This is what I'm trying to figure out is what is the comparison, and like I haven't seen, I can't really think of any data that I've seen on this, but like has there been any data on like comparisons between rural areas and city areas? Because I would expect there to be more of an issue in city areas where people are closer together than in rural areas, and so it's like it may not make sense for people to do in rural areas what people in city areas do,
but they don't do anything that's sensible anyway, because what they're doing is in reaction to what politicians are saying. So there's no sense out there. There's nobody who's doing anything sensible. I know somebody who left New York City, I think like 6 weeks ago. Okay, so way longer than any kind of what they said that the virus can survive for a couple weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. Some amount of time, right? Yeah. Not 6 weeks, right? Like if you've left New York City and you haven't gotten sick in 6 weeks, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say, you're probably all right.
Well,
you're probably all right. But this person, who is in her 30s, is, according to her words, hunkered down in Vermont, refusing to go to any restaurant, and having no social interactions with anyone except for, her fiance.
Okay.
And his parents, whose house they're staying at. So she's completely locked down in Vermont after weeks and weeks and weeks of having left New York City. There's a certain mentality amongst city people, I think, as well, specifically, that is a fear-based mentality. 855-450-FREE. It's Free Talk Live.
When I adopted her, she was a mess. Scabs, itching, licking, missing fur, hot spots, a thin, dull coat. So I take the dog to the vet for the standard run-of-the-mill tests and treatments. No results. I hear your advertisement on the radio.
DINOVITE.com.
So I get the 5-pound box of Dynovite and the Lico Chops within a 4-week total. Instead of a German Setter, I have a German Shepherd. Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life because she gets fed Dynovite. And the results, they're just incredibly outstanding. And she loves it. When you rescue a dog, you have to do the right thing. You've got to feed them right for life. Do the Dynovite. Dynovite for life.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You dial in toll free, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever you'd like. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio with you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
Local.bitcoin.com, celebrating its first year of existence. It is a website that allows you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods, including PayPal, bank deposit, remittances, or just meeting in person with cash. You don't have to use an ID to sign up for the site, and your communications are encrypted between buyers and sellers there. So check out this global trading platform that actually respects your privacy. It's local.bitcoin.com. That's local.bitcoin.com. Get started trading Bitcoin Cash. We've been talking about the news that now in California, apparently all Californians have been ordered by the governor gangster, and they're all gangsters, of course, no matter what their political party, to wear face coverings while in public, they say. So I don't know if that means that it's going... Yeah, I guess that does include in all stores because it includes what they call high-risk settings, which, according to the governor, includes when shopping. So basically, anytime you leave the house, they want you to have a mask on now in California. And we were touching on this idea, and I don't think we really got to flesh it out at all, Chris, just a moment ago, but the idea that, well... And I think you accidentally said, well, this is a law. Well, no, it's not a law. It's a governor's order. And there's a difference, right? So a law is what the legislature passes. Then the governor signs. Then you've got a law if you believe in their crazy system. But that's what they supposedly believe.
I mean,
and the governor's orders bypass that.
Right. And so I think, and I don't know, but I think what a lawyer is going to tell you is something to the effect of it has the effect of law.
Well, it does. If men with guns show up and threaten you,
exactly.
and then it does.
Exactly. And so it's like, okay, well... If you don't obey, they'll close your business or whatever they're going to do, and then maybe in a year or two from now, maybe you'll get a trial. You know?
That's a good question. When are the trials going to happen? Because I think there's a case, and I don't think I'm alone on this viewpoint. I remember the barber, the Northern Michigan barber, the 77-year-old guy. He won at the Michigan Supreme Court 7-0. Wow. So there was a case there. Wisconsin overturned their governor's or executive orders as well and just eliminated overnight the various different restrictions.
Which is kind of interesting because, traditionally there's precedent, I think, as far as and I think it's been in the past where we've seen them overturn stuff too, but after the fact, it's usually after the fact. But what's interesting is,
and this was
that
too,
they generally uphold the general concept of basically governors in an emergency having the right to do these types of things.
Yeah, I don't know if they've overturned the entire emergency order statute. Yeah. That's an important legal question, and I don't know.
Right. So it would be interesting. I could see them doing something okay, you win years down the line or something like that, and so that order or whatever was illegal, but the governor still has
they can write another one.
They can write exactly, and so they have this situation where it's okay, nothing really happens to them, so it doesn't actually put any precedent as far as punishing them or stopping them from doing it in the future.
Yeah, and nor would any precedent really stop them from doing it in the future anyway. Even if the court wrote that you police enforcers, you will not, we the court say you are not to enforce any future governor's orders. Well, if they do, it's not like you can just call up the court as the cops are arresting you for violating the future governor's orders that they weren't supposed to do and say, hey, there's a cop here. He's not, he didn't read your decision. He doesn't know what you said. No, you've got to go through the whole process all over again.
And this goes back to immunity and why we need to get rid of the laws covering immunity on government and workers in particular. Because if cops don't, if you can't go after a cop for breaking the law, violating your rights, they're going to keep doing it, right? So you have to put incentive into the system to stop that from happening.
Exactly right. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. You can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. More about the coming, apparently, mask crackdown. You thought things were getting better out there? No, they're coming down still with this medical authoritarian crap. Steve is in Fort Smith. You're on Free Talk Live. Steve,
hey, guys. How are y'all?
Welcome. Doing good. Listening to
KFP. I was going to just tell you a little. I know I've given you guys some updates about what's going on in the great state of Arkansas, but we had a local city council in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is in the neck of the woods of Bentonville, Walmart and blah, blah, blah. Bunch of hippies up there. And they passed a city ordinance that required you wear a face mask in public, even though the state directive is, if you want to wear one, you can.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be somewhere where you can't social distance, then we recommend that you wear a face mask. But it's not a law. It's just this is what we recommend.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in light of what the city of Fayetteville did, our governor canceled his executive order, and because it ran out tomorrow, I believe, and signed a new one that basically is the same thing. And what the city ordinance does not supersede what the governor mandates.
So just to clarify something, Steve, is Arkansas what they call a home rule state or not?
I'm not sure about that.
So here in New Hampshire, city governments cannot do anything they're not authorized to do, supposedly, by this thing called, I don't know if they call it not home rule, but we don't have what they call home rule, which is where cities in places where they do have home rule can just make whatever ordinances they want to make, regardless of what the state thinks about it. So I wonder what the case is there.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I do know that in this case, and I know it's not always the case, but in this case, I feel like our governor is actually, they're presenting us with the information and they're letting us decide what we want to do. And I think that's how it should be.
Yes, if you're gonna have a criminal gang with a monopoly on violence, it's definitely better if they make recommendations rather than cracking a whip over people. I totally agree.
Right, and they're not enforcing any of this stuff. They're not. They're letting us be adults, and for once, I appreciate that.
And the problem, that's one of the problems with like these, what these politicians are saying. They're not knowledgeable, and they're flip-flopping on stuff, and they're even advising people to do things that are potentially dangerous in some cases.
Right. Well, I just want to give you all that update because I know that, it's ridiculous. Now, if you own a business and you want to refuse business or service to someone because they don't have a mask, that's your prerogative. But that just tells me that I need to go somewhere else. I won't be doing business there if that's how you're going to be.
Well, and that's the great thing about the free market. You have choices. Right. Big if. But when we have a free market, you can make those choices for yourself. People who want
like
to
we talked about before, it's like making the non-smoking rules for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just if you don't want to have smoking in your business, don't have smoking. You may lose some business over it, but you're going to have a smoke-free establishment.
Yep.
So anyway, I just want to let you guys know that. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate hearing from you tonight. Thanks for the update. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. According to Wikipedia, Arkansas is a limited home rule state. So they have some home rule, but there's apparently some limitations to it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. More about the mask madness. There's a protest against AMC Movies, the theater chain, for not requiring masks. So the mask people are now boycotting AMC. There's more coming up. We'll tell you more. It's Free Talk Live.
Wow. Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
The monetary evolution comes to Las Vegas. Crypto Vegas is a one-day event featuring some of the brightest and most innovative minds in blockchain technology. Juan Galt, Anastasia Sergeyevna, Lynn Ulbricht, Jim Bell, Elise Sam, Float CEO Kingsley Edwards, and more. Tickets start at $20.20, and you can save 10% on VIP tickets using code FTL at CryptoVegasConference.com. July 18th, join Free Talk Live at CryptoVegasConference.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
A new teen trend of walking wet and nude couldn't have caught on at a worse time, and a taxpayer is outraged. And lo, the Lord said unto the Israelites, Look unto the heavens, and you shall see a news review program to rival the greatest wonders of the earth. This is the Onion Week in Review. As a front of dense, frigid air and snow showers brought sub-zero temperatures to much of the country this week, Canton, Ohio residents noted that the blanketing of snow they had received created the illusion that their town was not a total shithole. Residents added that unlike its typical depressing reality, the snow-cloaked town actually looked halfway livable.
Canton is usually a miserable little dump, but you know when that first snow fell and covered everything in a layer of white powder? For about 5 minutes it was like not everything I saw depressed the living out of me.
Reports from locals also confirmed that for a brief period, the streets, parks, and buildings around them gave the surprising impression of not being a run-down, heartbreaking excuse for a hometown.
This is the Onion News Network.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can join us here. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm. And in the studio with you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
I want to make sure that you know about the AnyPay Cash Register app. It is a great way to accept cryptocurrency like Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Bitcoin SV, the original Bitcoin, and I think they've officially rolled out their first stablecoin acceptance. They had been in a testing phase for that, and I believe it has hit the official app download through the app stores. So there is now a Bitcoin Cash token, what they call an SLP token, that is a US dollar tethered option. So that's another new development behind the scenes over there at AnyPay that was, I believe, just announced this week. You can go download the AnyPay Cash Register app from, Google, Apple app stores. Download that app and get it set up. Put your cryptocurrency wallet addresses in the back end, and then you'll be ready to accept crypto. It is that easy. You don't have to wait on some kind of bank to approve you. There's no paperwork. There's no hoop jumping. There's no fee. You just go and accept crypto, and you don't ask anybody's permission to do so. AnyPay helps make that easy. So check out the AnyPay Cash Register app. And we go to your calls, or more of your calls and thoughts. We can talk more about the mask crackdown that continues in some places. Some places are letting up, but not California. Ron is in upstate New York, another place where I know they had a mask mandate. Ron, welcome to Free Talk Live. I know you were calling about something specific, but I'm just curious, since you are in New York, do you know, is the governor's order still in place mandating the people there use masks in public?
Hey, guys. So, I'm not totally sure. I moved from Manhattan to upstate New York, where I used to live part-time, full-time, about 3 weeks ago. So I live in a pretty red, area where the rules, so to speak, are very different here than they are in Manhattan. So I have kind of tuned out from, the news, the sort of Main Street news.
Doesn't New York City operate differently than the rest of New York because they've got like some special legislation or something?
But this was a New York-wide governor's order mandating masks. So what are you seeing on the streets there?
I can, yeah. That's a better way for me to answer the question. Is that people like in my town, which is a ski town in the Catskill Mountains, about 3 hours north of the city. It's a mix of like wealthy second homeowners from Manhattan and like local people, a mix of economic backgrounds, including a lot of poor people.
Yep.
Pretty much, it's 50-50. So, if I'm around, my liberal neighbors, they'll have masks on, and if they're elderly, they'll be pretty, careful about it and want to make sure that, when you're around them, you're wearing a mask because maybe they have some underlying conditions. They're in their 70s and their 80s. I can go into the village where there's some, gas stations and like shops like that, and nobody's wearing masks, and the contractors aren't wearing masks. So whatever the governor's rule is today, and we're in phase 3 here in upstate New York, where Manhattan's in phase 1. So one thing you have to understand
the phases of the reopening process. How many phases are there?
5.
Okay.
Yeah, and nobody knows. If you talk to anybody, like you ask anybody what phase we're in, what the phase means, nobody has a clue. And I consider myself pretty well informed. I have no idea. I stopped paying attention about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like once you leave, the sort of like 100-mile radius of Manhattan, it's kind of everyone's just making up their own rules as they go, and nobody knows. And I think that's kind of the way it is.
Well, that's refreshing to hear, especially out of New York State, of all places, the Empire State, the arguably least free of all the 50
It is
states.
interesting because it's actually not even just like the ordinary people I've noticed this with, but people who are like experts in the field have been like people who do like videos and things like that, where they've been doing videos every day. I don't know, a couple weeks back they started doing them every couple of days, and so you can definitely see the hype,
the awareness of it,
the awareness.
lessening.
It's kind of it's kind of going down as time moves on.
Well, that's refreshing, Ron. What else did you want to share?
So speaking of the mask thing, I had a specific question I want to ask, but I'll save that, and maybe we'll get to that. But I wanted to tell you, about 3 weeks ago, I left our old neighborhood of Harlem, New York, and, up from Manhattan. And I can tell you that I had, over the month that we moved out, several carloads full, culminating at the end with a big U-Haul full of stuff. Several get-togethers with neighbors in a building, like a complex that in total with 7 buildings has like 4,000 people in it.
Wow.
My building has about 700.
Yeah.
And we had 4 get-togethers for our departure with neighbors, hanging out in our small New York apartments, sitting 3, 4, 5 feet apart, talking to each other. All high-risk people, all in their 70s, 60s, 80s. Everyone was comfortable, hanging out with each other.
Fantastic.
And it was adjacent to Harlem Hospital.
I love it.
So, like what you might see, on TV about New Yorkers and stuff in Brooklyn and protesting, and what you may see, on TV, it's probably not exactly accurate.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, the media has a narrative here, and anything that goes outside of that narrative is generally not going to get reported on. Or they're going to report on it to make you look like you're absolutely lunatic.
It's interesting because I've actually seen reporting on New York, and a lot of it was words I can't use right now on the air, but they were complaining about basically the fact that people weren't wearing masks.
Meaning the media was complaining about it.
Yeah, effectively. And
shaming, by the way. They'll shame and they'll talk about how masks are super important.
Yeah,
they propagandize about it.
That's a two-way street there.
They bring on the Sesame Street characters to propagandize children about this. I mean, it is heavy.
I thought the children weren't even required to wear masks.
Well, if you're under 2 years old or something like that, I don't think I've seen in New York, for instance, they don't require it. Different states have different minimum ages, but they definitely are propagandizing children.
I don't
about
think I've
this.
seen any kid under 10 wear a mask.
Thank goodness, but we're
10
in
to 12.
we're in New Hampshire,
Yeah,
so
true.
it may be less likely to happen here. Ron, I'm really glad you shared that. You said you had a question you wanted to ask. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is about politics. So just full disclosure, I'm firmly on the left. And I listened to your show after it followed some progressive talk shows that are aired on a station called Detour Talk Live out of Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
And your show comes on following. I stream it on my phone while I'm working in the yard. And your show comes on. And I listen to it. I pretty much, for a couple of years now, I've listened to it because I'm interested in your point of view. I often don't agree with you guys, including about masks, because I think they've saved a lot of lives.
Well, just to be clear, we're not all on the same page as far as masks.
You wore a mask for quite a while,
and I
Chris.
still wear a mask. I just don't wear it 100% of the time because it's about reducing risk. You're never going to eliminate the risk. You're about reducing.
I'm neutral to the masks themselves, but I am unstoppably opposed to having them imposed by force.
Right, and I'm the same way.
Yeah,
in regard to that issue.
I'm on the same page with you guys on that. I'm getting schooled by people about wearing masks, even though, I'm a lefty. I find it annoying. I'm with my contractors half the time. They're not wearing masks in my house doing work. I'm with you guys on that. My question is really this. After listening to this show for a couple of years, I'm having a hard time deciphering. I think your show kind of loosely comes under the political definition of libertarian.
Yeah,
and I'm having a hard time.
I don't think that's a loose. I think it's
we're
strong.
We're pretty much the epitome of.
Okay. Well, I do want to hear the question. So, do you want to spit it out now, or hold on, and we can bring you back here and continue?
Let's bring it back.
No, I'll spit it out. After about 2.5 years listening to your show, I have a really hard time deciphering when you get down to the nitty gritty of maybe the policy recommendations that you
All right,
might
hold
have.
that thought. I want you to flesh that out. Coming up here in a moment. More with Ron. Free Talk Live.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
There's so much hand sanitizer on the market, but beware, not all hand sanitizers are created equal. That's why you want to use 2020 Safe hand sanitizer. You can trust the hand sanitizer on 2020safe.net to be made with the highest quality ingredients, American made with American ingredients, employing Americans. Log on now to 2020safe.net and order your 1 liter today. Normally $29.99, but reduced to $19.99. So hurry while supplies last and receive a bonus. That's right. You'll receive a 30-count bottle of Immune Booster, a $39.95 value, free by using code GCN at checkout. Right now, click 2020safe.net. That's 2020safe.net to get our 1 liter bottle of high-quality hand sanitizer with your free bonus. A 30-count bottle of Immune Booster valued at $39.95. Remember to enter GCN at checkout, and the bonus is yours free. 2020safe.net.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required, only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, X-Keyscore, Boundless Informant,
Hey, y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now, here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now, they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. By the way, big thanks to PorcupineRealEstate.com. Yeah, that's Mark Warden behind that. He is also a gold realtor. He is a gold realtor, but he's a gold amplifier as well, and he helps support what we do here. Plus, he happens to be an advertiser as well, so definitely appreciate that level of support from him. And if you want to join the AMP program as he has done, you can do that at amp.freetalklive.com. Stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It helps us get on new radio stations around the United States. And we're at 195 right now. We lost a few over the last few months. And I think we're probably going to I think the radio business is going to... Oh, I'm sorry about that, Chris. Say that again.
195?
Yeah, 195.
Okay.
I think you're going to see stations going under because of the whole COVID crackdown thing. Yeah. Advertising dollars have dried up.
Yeah, it's true.
So why would you want to advertise if people aren't leaving their homes? At least that's what the advertiser thinks, right?
But you say that.
The truth is you should advertise because people are eventually going to leave their homes and buy things.
Maybe, but it also seems kind of odd because there's certain businesses that have increased demand for product, and you think they would be advertising.
Well, maybe they are, but in some places they're not. And
the overall advertising is down probably.
Stations are hurting. They're trying to collect from existing advertisers who don't want to pay. Ron, you're back on Free Talk Live. Now, you'd called in to kind of talk about what things are like there in upstate New York with masks, which is to say not very strict as compared to, say, the city where you left from. And you were getting into a question that you had just sort of generally something about libertarianism. You've been a listener of the show for a little while, and you had something you wanted to ask, but we didn't have enough time there before the break. So please go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay. So my question, I'm going to break it down into two parts. The first is kind of an open-ended question, like from a liberal guy who listens to your show, that comes on after listening to some like left-leaning progressive talk shows.
Who are we on after?
You're on after David Pakman.
Oh yeah, I know David. Go ahead.
So I've listened to you guys for 24 plus months, and I got to be honest, I have a hard time differentiating, especially in the age of COVID and what's happened in the last, let's say, 4 or 5 months, differentiating your point of view from, let's say, Fox News or Rush Limbaugh.
What are the points of view of those people?
Well, nobody tells the truth, so that's a big difference between him and Fox News.
It is. It is. I will agree with you. It's hard right now to tell the difference
Yeah.
between some of the right wing stuff going on and some of the stuff you've heard on FTL.
Well, I don't know if that's true at all. I mean,
yeah.
I've been around.
It is.
Well, first of all, I'll say this: right wingers tend to like Trump, and we are not cheering Trump on here in any way, shape, or form.
Your average, a lot of the conversations that are going on currently during COVID have definitely sounded right wing, and it's kind of a lot of the.
What does that mean, though? What does it
that's-
mean to be right wing on COVID? Can you? I mean, maybe Ron can answer that question. Like, what are you hearing? I don't watch Fox News, so I don't know what they're saying, and I don't listen to Rush Limbaugh.
Okay. Yeah. So I can answer that question. It's the nanny state. Masks are bad, and mandating masks are bad. Social distancing is bad. Legislating, ruling, or making a decree, executive order to keep people safe is bad. Everyone should make their own decisions. I mean, this is exactly what they're saying on Fox News. This is exactly what they're saying on Breitbart. This is
Well, it sounds like they're
exactly-
getting better. They were pretty statist when I was listening to
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot of truth to that.
Well, you've already heard three different viewpoints. When you asked earlier, Chris told you that he had actually been wearing masks some amount of the time, and but he doesn't support mandating them, and you agreed with that. And then you agreed, I forget exactly the subtleties of your viewpoint on that, nobody, but yours were slightly different. And my viewpoint is essentially that masks are dehumanizing, and I think that that ultimately they are a bad thing. I don't care if somebody wants to wear them, though. I mean, that's totally your business. It's your body. It's your choice. So, it's definitely not coming from any sort of a conservative viewpoint, whatever that would mean. My viewpoint comes from an individual freedom viewpoint and a freedom to choose viewpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I started out as a lefty. The truth be told, when I was 18, I considered myself a Marxist, and then I read Marx, and that cured that. And then I've slowly drifted to what I consider to be the center, which is, people on the left should be free to live the way people on the left want to live, and people on the right should be free to live the way people on the right want to live, and nobody should bother them about it.
Yeah, I think the problem is that there is a mix of libertarian, or libertarians are effectively a mix of some of what the left believes and some of what the right believes, and so
that can be confusing,
right? And that can be confusing because it's not it's not the two party narrative, and so you'll hear libertarians talking about an issue and it'll sound like we're right wing nut jobs, and then on the other hand other conversations will sound like left wing nut jobs or something of that nature, or at least left on the left side.
Yeah, and here's one of the other differences I'll say, because like I said, I don't listen or watch those things you're talking about, but I did go to some of the reopen New Hampshire protests that happened here.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like I'm not against reopening, but if you go to those protests, you're getting fit into a certain category, which sounds like you're on the right.
Well, I
was at those, but I was at Black Lives Matter too.
Right, I was also at Black Lives Matter. I've been to more Black Lives Matter than I have been to the
frequently,
reopens.
people don't know about that when you're talking about these issues, so it doesn't.
That's why we're talking about it.
Right now, it's pretty apparent, but it's not often. It's not apparent.
Okay, but that's why we're talking about it right now. Is to clarify that I've been to both of these protests that have gone on, so I think that I have some understanding of what some of the people on the right are saying, because I heard them talking, right? Like I was at their event.
Yeah, sure.
I've had conversations with them. I've had conversations with people on the left as well. And the viewpoint I got from the people on the right about this situation is that they want to so-called reopen, but a lot of them are being very obedient about it. They're only reopening when they're told they can reopen. Sure. They didn't vehemently oppose the closing down in the first place by, let's say, standing up for freedom and actually not closing down and saying, this is my business.
See, these are subtleties, and I don't think people understand these subtleties often when we're talking about these conversations.
That's why I'm laying them out there.
Yeah.
So I want to make it clear rather than subtle. That's why when the governor's order went into place to tell people the stay-at-home order, so-called, here in New Hampshire, we created an event called Nightcap and went out this is now going to be, I believe, week 13 tonight. Will be the 13th nightcap in a row. On Friday nights. We went out the very same night the governor's order went into place and committed civil disobedience openly. And I announced that this was going to happen publicly in advance on the freekeen.com blog. And we committed civil disobedience openly about that. Also disobeying the open container ordinances because we were openly consuming alcohol down at Central Square. So what you get, at least out of this show, as far as the libertarian viewpoint, is a viewpoint of disobedience, a viewpoint of non-cooperation with these tyrants. And in this case, the tyrant is a Republican here in the state of New Hampshire. So
but it would
that's not
a
right-wing...
It would be on the left in other states.
That's not a right-wing perspective.
Right.
I mean, the problem is that right-wingers jack libertarian
the talking points
when they feel like it. But you know, think about it. With all the there have been a couple of times when Republicans have controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency. How many laws did they repeal? How many taxes did they repeal? How many gun laws did they repeal? The answer to all of these burning questions is none.
So does that answer your question, Ron?
Well, I said there was two parts. Here's
Okay.
the second one. Is that what would you say to someone like me on the left, like Bernie Sanders, AOC supporter, that kind of guy. What would you say to someone like me tuning into your show and having an open mind and an open heart, listening to what you have to say, really trying to understand, where you're coming from and your point of view, what should, people on the left be listening to try to, understand maybe places where we agree. Where we align.
Good question.
I'll take that because I come from the left. I would say look for the realities of economics. What changed with me was not my instincts, okay? I still like people. I still don't want people to be poor. I certainly don't want them starving. But my knowledge of economics has taught me that though the goals of universal prosperity are more easily met when you're free to make your own decisions than when the government makes them for you.
And Ron, it's a really interesting question. I want to invite you. I know you may have things to do, but if you want to stay, I'm happy to keep you because I think we should all have a chance to talk about that.
Conversation.
So it's your call. Either way, we'll continue to discuss it coming up here in hour 2.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,726, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,400. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, last week in Missouri, a 25-year-old woman named Hannah Pfizer was shot and killed by an officer with the Pettis County Sheriff's Office during a routine traffic stop. Pfizer was reportedly pulled over because she was speeding and passed through a red light. The officer, who has not been named, claimed that she threatened to shoot him, but no gun was found in the vehicle. The Missouri State Highway Patrol is now working the case, claiming to be an impartial outside agency. In an initial statement from the Highway Patrol, they referred to Pfizer as a suspect instead of a victim, and accused her of threatening to shoot the deputy. However, she did not actually have a gun on her, and there is no footage from a dash cam or body cam that would corroborate the officer's story. Family and friends say she was on her way to work, and that she was a friendly person who never carried weapons. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. In a seeming reversal on Facebook's position that it would not remove political speech, the social media giant removed 88 ads on Thursday, posted by the accounts of President Donald Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, and the Trump campaign, on the grounds that they violated company policies against organized hate. The identical ads went after leftists and so-called Antifa, or anti-fascist groups, that prominently featured an inverted red triangle outlined in black, a symbol that Nazi German authorities used during World War II to identify political dissenters who were incarcerated in concentration camps. Other versions of the ad that are visible in Facebook's ad library use identical language and alternative clip art, such as exclamation points and stop signs. In a statement, Trump campaign spokesperson Tim Murtaugh defended the use of the Nazi symbol by claiming that it's an emoji that's widely used by activists opposed to fascism. The Vallejo Police Department was warned by rushing to purchase a cell site simulator without first crafting a use policy. The agency sidestepped its legal duty to transparency. Now, Oakland Privacy has filed a first-of-its-kind suit to ensure the public has a say in how such controversial surveillance technology is deployed in their communities. Activist Post reports that cell site simulators are devices that police use to gather information from cell phones, typically to locate, identify, and track people. Also known as IMSI catchers, the devices pretend to be cell phone towers in order to trick phones into connecting to them. The technology is so controversial that in 2015, the California legislature stepped in and passed Senate Bill 741, a law that ensures a police department cannot acquire cell site simulator usage without a city council first approving a detailed policy. In mid-March, amid COVID-19 shelter-in-place orders, the Vallejo City Council approved a $766,000 purchase of a cell site simulator manufactured by KeyW. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The American Psychiatric Association has issued an alarming study warning that the nation's used car salesmen are going completely insane, and in some extreme cases, practically giving cars away. The APA traces the outbreak of widespread hysteria to an apparent overstock of high-quality late-model cars begging to be driven off the lot today. Some severe symptoms include delusions, manic exuberance, and a psychotic commitment to offer the lowest prices guaranteed. Victims' families are joining together to raise awareness of this serious psychological epidemic.
The authorities found out how unbelievably low his prices were. They'd lock him up and throw away the key.
You are not alone. Over half of America's used car salesmen are currently going bonkers.
Car dealers suffering from this condition are prone to project their own disorders onto others. According to Mad Max, the Car Czar's website, you're out of your mind if you're not taking advantage of these low, low prices.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want here. We're launching into the second hour of the show, and you can dial in toll-free and take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms as well. They're over at discord.lrn.fm. You want to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us? Just join the Discord server, hop into one of those top 4 rooms. We will join you there, and you will then sound almost like you're sitting here with us. It's Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
We're going to go back to Ron, and an extended caller, entering into the third segment, because it's been a really interesting conversation.
Oh, wow. Is he still here?
He's stuck with us. I invited him to stay, and, well, he stuck around, so that's cool, because we've been talking about viewpoints on this show and how they compare to people on the right and how they might compare to people on the left. And Ron, you just asked a question right before we went to the news break there about, what would we say to somebody like yourself who self-describes as being on the left, but you also use the term with an open heart. And nobody, you took a crack at it. I wanted to go ahead and take a crack at answering that question as well. And I would say that in my experience, people on the left come at things from a couple of different perspectives. One, generally they want to help people, right? They want to help the poor. They want to help the sick. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Some of them, however, believe that the best way to do it is through this monopoly on violence that we have. And they call themselves the state.
Spot on.
They call themselves the government, or the federal government, or the state government, or the city of fill in the blank. And I don't think that that is the best way to help people. I think that using the threat of violence, which is ultimately what backs all government programs, is the threat of violence. Either you do what they say, or they send men with guns who usually are right-wingers to come after you
so true.
And throw you in a prison cell or possibly kill you if you don't do what they say.
And the right does that too. That's a crazy thing. They both do.
Sure. They're status.
Right.
And so when you show somebody on the left what we would call, libertarians might call the gun in the room, this sort of the violence that inherently backs all of this system that we have, usually somebody on the left will go one of two different directions. They will either completely ignore the gun in the room and, be in a state of denial about it. Well, they're not going to use violence on you. They'll just, send you a letter. Well, what happens
or it's somehow justified.
Yeah, but right. The other perspective is of the unapologetic leftist who embraces the violence of the state. They don't care because they believe that the violence of the state will somehow make things better into the future. So my viewpoint is, as somebody with an open heart, as somebody who is pretty much a peacenik, I don't think that violence is the appropriate way to change humanity. I don't think that it's the way to motivate people to change themselves in any way, shape, or form. And so my viewpoint as a voluntarist is a viewpoint of peace, and is a viewpoint of voluntary interaction, of consensual interaction, in that if you've got an idea that you think is great, feeding the homeless, or the hungry, or helping people with whatever their malady is, then it should be something that can be funded on a voluntary basis. If it's a good idea, it likely will be, and you won't need to threaten anybody.
Unless, of course,
with
the government comes in and stops you
from doing something to help people.
Right.
Yeah, and they've done that too. They've arrested people,
which is the problem with government.
Right,
You
for
can't have it. You just can't have it if you want to do good.
We've seen people arrested by the state for feeding homeless folks on the beach in Florida. I remember in Florida, it was in Orlando. They were arresting Food Not Bombs for trying to feed homeless people in a park. So with that sort of rambling treatise there, your thoughts, Ron? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'd like to respond by asking you guys to remind me if I missed something in the past, couple weeks, since the George Floyd incident occurred in Minneapolis. I don't listen to your show every day, but maybe a couple, 3 times a week.
Yeah, neither do I.
Thanks. It's a lot to listen to, so appreciate it.
It's more than I do.
So, but I don't really remember you guys really finding solidarity with the protesters on the left against police violence.
Yeah, you definitely haven't listened because
we've been talking about police violence longer than the left has been talking about it, and it's been for how long has this show been going on?
Yeah, forever.
Right.
I mean, we've been against police violence. We've talked about so many different
That's like
incidents.
90% of what the show covers is police violence.
We've lost radio stations, Ron, because we take a position of being critical of the police. And I've been to the Black Lives Matter protests, and I've been to 3 of them.
In this incident, where we all saw what happened. We all, we all watched it. We all saw it. What I did hear you guys say, it was last week at some point. It was you were criticizing, some people on the left for, wanting maybe laws to change, and let's just say shorthand, the nanny state. I did hear a lot of that. But I didn't hear a lot of solidarity with, the protesters, let's say, in D.C. when the goons came in with pepper spray and bullets and shot, multi-ethnic, multi-generational, a lot of white people in the crowd to clear a room for Donald Trump to come in and give a photo op. I didn't hear you guys talk about that very much.
To me, there's been a lot going on. We've focused, I think, more on what happened in Minneapolis. We've been focusing recently on Seattle's autonomous zone and some of the things that have been going on there, and it's a very interesting situation that's developed. We did mention the situation in D.C., but it's so political. It just wasn't the top story, I think, of the night that particular day. So, I mean, I'm not in favor of what they did there. You're referring to where they used, National Guard troops, probably Secret Service, other goons, to clear out a group of protesters so Trump could take a picture. We talked about how the pastor of that church was actually against that. So sometimes when you have a particular belief system, it's easier to hear things that you might agree with, and or maybe it's more difficult in that case. But yeah, we definitely did talk about that, and we've been heavy in favor of the protests here on Free Talk Live over the last 2 weeks that they've been going on, to the point where we've even lost a radio station just within the last 2 weeks over this. And so I got to beg to differ with you. I mean, I've been at multiple Black Lives Matter events up here in New Hampshire and have reported on my experiences there on the radio.
I think the thing that he may be right about is the solidarity part. I definitely would say that I don't have solidarity with the people on the left who are protesting. But
what does that
I do
mean to say
have
you don't have solidarity? What do you mean?
Meaning that I don't necessarily support everything that they're out there doing, but I do support the specific,
they
certain aspects of what they're arguing.
But Chris,
in
they're
terms of
individuals,
getting rid of the police and so forth.
So you can't say you don't support. I mean, you can say I don't support. You can say I don't support everything they're doing, but they are a bunch of different people who don't support everything other people are doing. Right.
Absolutely.
So some of the protesters are destroying private businesses, and I'm against that. But some of the protesters are also against destroying.
I don't even care about that.
If it was your private business, you would care.
No. I don't mean I don't mean that. I don't obviously I don't want them to destroy private businesses, but I'm not it's not an issue for me. I just don't. It's not something I'm concerned about.
Okay, well that concerns me.
It bothers me if it's a mom and pop shop. But
it's a mean thing to do.
Fortune 500 companies are definitely not my friends.
Look, if you're going to destroy something, like we said, I don't care if you're destroying a cop shop. I don't care. I mean, I don't want somebody to die.
I would rather them go after the cops, rather than go after the police.
Go after City Hall.
Government.
Go after the government buildings, and they did do that in Minneapolis, and so we were cheering that on.
Well, and
this is why that happened.
This is why I'm saying, like, I have a hard time finding solidarity with the people on the left, or for that matter, the right, just because I know that. Yeah, and you're right. They do have they do different
Well, do you have
things.
to agree with everything to
And
have
you don't,
solidarity?
and you
I don't
don't.
think you do.
Well,
go ahead. I want to hear what Ron has to say,
sure.
'cause we're running short on time. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I wanted to pick up on what one of you said. I think it was the host who described himself as nobody.
Mm-hmm. That's my legal name.
Break, who said, the thing too. Okay. Who said, I don't know if I'm going to treat that as a sincere response. I think you said that, people like me on the left, when they listen to your show, they should listen to, they should try to find an opening, a bridge, between their points of view and yours by listening to freedom and liberty, and that there's an economic message in there.
Hold that thought, Ron. We're bringing you back for more in moments.
Looked at her, she was a mess. Scabs, itching, licking, missing fur, hot spots. So I get the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com. And the Lico Chops within a 4-week total. Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog, and she loves it.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
The Monetary Evolution comes to Las Vegas. Crypto Vegas is a one-day event featuring some of the brightest and most innovative minds in blockchain technology. Juan Galt, Anastasia Sergeyevna, Lynn Ulbrich, Jim Bell, Elise Sam, Float CEO Kingsley Edwards, and more. Tickets start at $20.20, and you can save 10% on VIP tickets using code FTL at CryptoVegasConference.com. July 18th, join Free Talk Live at CryptoVegasConference.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret Shaving Oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you're invited to bring up what you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
All right, so we're going to continue with your calls, your thoughts. But I also, and by the way, we've had Ron on the line. He stuck with us, so segment number 4 is a full hour. He's going to be joining the show as a co-host here, and before you know it.
I would love to have somebody on the left co-host, just because I think it would be it creates so much
interesting.
The conversation that comes about is so much more interesting, especially if the opposing viewpoint is coherent in their conversation.
Yeah, and they don't storm out of the room or something like that,
which is so often the case with people on both sides of the aisle.
So, Ron, I want to invite you. You're in upstate New York. I don't know which side of upstate New York, because upstate New York is a big place.
Oh yeah.
But we've got a little festival that's going to be going on starting on Monday. It's going to last for 2 weeks. It's called Fork Fest. It's happening at Rogers Campground. It's in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, so it's the northern part of New Hampshire, a little town called Lancaster. We're going to be up there broadcasting starting on Monday, and we will be there for the 2 weeks following that through the end of July 4th, or we'll be leaving on July 5th. And there's going to be some number of probably hundreds, would be my guess. There are no tickets to Fork Fest, so it's not centrally organized in any way. There's no bureaucracy.
It'll be interesting to see what the turnout is between the two events, because we've hit over 1,000 people, over 2,000 people between the two events, I think. In past years.
That's pretty in past years.
Combining Fork Fest and Pork Fest.
Not in the last 4 years. No, I wouldn't say you hit 2,000 in the last 4 years at any point.
Okay, maybe close to 2,000.
The peak Porcupine Freedom Festival
it certainly got more than prior years of just Pork Fest.
Than the prior 4 years. There was a peak at the Porcupine Freedom Festival of 1,700 one year. That was
right, and I'm pretty confident we hit more than 1,700 between the two events in the last year.
Wow, I don't think that's true at all. But you know what? There's no way to count Forkfest, so nobody really knows. Anyway, Ron, you can go to forkfest.party, and everybody else can as well, because there's really not that much to do in the world these days with all the events being canceled and so on. And so if you want to have more conversations like this in person, it'd be a good place to do it. You were trying to get to a point there just before we went away, so please go ahead and recap what you were trying to say.
Okay, so this was a follow-up to Nobody, which, it's kind of a statement. Maybe there's a question here that you can respond to, but it's, when people like me on the left hear people say that typically on the right, and this is what I'm trying to say to you guys, you sound like you're, in lockstep with the people on the right, that what you're looking out for and where we can find agreement on is that we want freedom and liberty. You guys want freedom and liberty as libertarians, and that there's an economic message in that we should, kind of jibe with or listen for to find agreement with you. Try to understand, you're talking about, I'm not talking about myself necessarily, but people aligned with me on the left who are looking out for poor people who are hourly workers, people who make minimum wage. When you talk about freedom and you talk about liberty as an economic message, that just doesn't really connect at all. Versus someone who says, AOC, Bernie Sanders, we are going to fight for Medicare for all, which I'm going to just assume that none of the three of you are for.
No, I'm completely opposed.
Right. So when you say we should scrap all that Medicare for all nonsense and listen to how we're going to have our economic picture is going to benefit by not having that, because we'll have freedom and liberty. I guess I kind of want you guys to understand that just doesn't in any way connect to reality.
No, it does.
People on the ground.
Well,
I don't think you understand where the money...
that the government is going to honestly and efficiently provide you with any service ever doesn't fit with reality is the problem. I mean, what kind of service are black people going to get from a medical system that's run by people who shoot them down like dogs in the street? I mean, there's going to be a lot of dead black folks if the government takes over the healthcare industry. In terms of poverty, the government has created way more poverty than it has ever solved. It has always made things worse in that respect. So,
but you just have to elect the right people. Nobody. You have to get AOC in there. You got to get Bernie Sanders in there.
You got to get nobody in there because nobody should be doing what they're doing.
The problem is that the government has skewed the free market, and it's taken most of your money, and it's taken most of the money of the people who are poor, and it redistributes it not to the people you think it does, but it mostly redistributes it to the wealthy. If you look at what the money that was given out during the COVID-19 thing, most of that money went to big corporations and people who actually have money because they own stocks.
And that was voted on by both Democrats and Republicans in favor.
Right, exactly. So it's not going to the people that you think it is. A little bit is maybe, but not anywhere near what it would be if we had a free market, a truly free market, not what we have because we don't have a free market.
So what I do see what you're saying, Ron, that kind of language, freedom, liberty, it doesn't speak to the people on the left. They want to help people, and they don't believe that freedom can do it. They think that a centralized command and control structure...
Well, because they've been told they've had freedom all this time. They never did, really.
Well, that's true. But if you were to get rid of the centralized command and control structure and you were to actually have the freedom to choose what to do with the money that you earn rather than handing it over to Donald Trump or Barack Obama or whichever politician happens to be in charge at the moment, then you would actually get to support the charities that are doing the work that you think is best. And if there didn't exist one, then you could create one without having to beg some government bureaucrat's permission.
Yep.
You would see things like mutual aid societies make a comeback. And I know you probably know a little bit more about these, given that you've studied that, I think, a little bit more over time. But mutual aid is absolutely a legitimate way to help people on a completely voluntary basis get the help that they need without violence.
Not just that, but it's a way to help people without evil monsters in government taking 90% of the money that you give them in taxes to help people and use it to murder people all over the world.
I don't think people understand.
There is way more money spent on warfare than is ever spent on welfare. So the answer to that is take that money away from the psycho killers and give it to somebody who A, is not a murderer, and B, actually cares about helping people, which none of these politicians
I don't think people understand that they're not just taking 15% from you, they're taking money from you in all different ways to hide the real amount of money that's being stolen from you. And you're making a lot less than you normally would be. So 90% is going to include property taxes, your rent effectively because you're the person you're renting from has to pay those property taxes. You're going to have to include tariffs. You're going to have to include sales taxes. You're going to have to include vehicle registration. There's all these other taxes that people forget about and don't realize is being taken from them just indirectly. There's employee
you could
taxes.
Go on. Ron, thank you so much for the call here tonight. I really appreciate the extended conversation. I thought it was, productive, at least. I thought it was interesting. So thanks for making it. Feel free to call in any old time. And maybe we'll see you at Forkfest since you're kind of in the region. Come on up to Forkfest. It starts Monday. It goes for 2 weeks. If all you can do is make it for a weekend, I think it'll be worth the trip to hang out with some cool, freedom-minded folks in the woods of New Hampshire. We got more Free Talk Live coming up. You can join us. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to is probably so swamped with applicants that he or she is tough to reach. So call early in the day, before 8 a.m., before the palace guards arrive. You'll need your prospect's direct number, and here's a sneaky way to get it. Suppose the company's main number is 555-5000. You should call 555-5012. When someone says, "Good morning, Pam Johnson," you should innocently say, "Oops, somebody here must have written this down wrong. I was calling for Tom Frederick. What's his direct number?" If the very next thing you hear isn't Pam giving you Tom's number, it may be, "Good morning, Tom Frederick." For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in, toll free, take control of the airwaves here. Number's 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. They're over at discord.lrn.fm. So you can't make it out to Forkfest. It's just, can't do it for whatever reason. Your schedule's full up. Well, there's another set of events coming in Vegas coming up in about a month from now, July 18th and 19th. You can join Free Talk Live and a bunch of great speakers for Crypto Vegas and Anarcho Vegas. There are two events, one day, the other the next day. So July 18th and 19th in Vegas. Juan Galt, Anastasia Sergevina, Lynn Ulbrich, Jim Bell, Elise, Sam, Float CEO Kingsley Edwards, and others speaking at Crypto Vegas. And when you go to Anarcho Vegas 2020, you'll get to see Jim Bell, Larkin Rose, Aubens O'Brien, G. Edward Griffin, Walter Block, Amanda Rockwitz, Ernie Hancock, and others. Tickets for each day are just $20.20, so that's cheap for a convention. That's a good price. And if you want to upgrade to VIP tickets, you can use code FTL and you'll save 10% off the VIP option. Go to anarchovegas.com and cryptovegasconference.com. Mark your calendar for July 18th and 19th. We have full phones after that phone call. A lot of people want to weigh in to whatever conversation. You can bring up anything you want. Let's go to the phones. First to Jason in Colorado, listening online on the Liberty Radio Network. Go ahead, Jason.
Good evening, Ian. You stole some of my thunder about show the gun. That's always the method that I try to use, at least until I can tell if the person is even possibly able to talk any kind of economic stuff. I have just not found economics to be as what was it colored before me? Robert or
yeah, I think it was Rob.
Rob. I mean,
or Ron.
I've had
it might have been Ron. Sorry.
I've had almost no success trying to, basically tell them how bad Keynesian economics is or socialist economics.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work on
Well,
it.
even, I don't know you were listening closely to the call, but even when I did, reveal the gun in the room, he ignored what I said and went on to a completely different point after that. So I don't know if he was ready to really to hear that or to address it. I didn't hammer him about it either. I just kind of let him go because it was, that wasn't the time for it.
I mean, you guys do this night after night, the show the gun. I mean, I know, but a lot of
well, it's actually rare because we don't have calls like that night after night. Usually night after night, it's like James in Arizona and David in New Mexico, and that's it.
Yeah, but
nice
I'm talking like
else.
You meet somebody that's a friend of your friends, and they're a lefty. And I have this with my wife as a teacher, and basically I deal with like the young hipster lefty Bernie types that I meet at her like meet and greet stuff.
Yep.
And the hard thing is after, even if you can get through the show them the gun, the escalating violence of a parking ticket is a death sentence if you take it far enough. Even after you get through that, you still have to come up with the Market for Liberty book, right? The alternative is a free market solution, and they say basically they claim that your system is perfection. The anarchy that we want,
utopia,
the voluntarism. Yeah, they basically always usually go with utopia. We're not going to get utopia, and that's where it's really hard because that's what you guys do every night. You have to explain that it won't be perfection, but it'll be better than X, Y, and Z that we got now. Add in the examples, and that sometimes works.
Utopia is not an option.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Because of humans, humans will be involved. There's going to be failures. There's going to be disappointments.
You would think that this would be an exact, you think that this would be an exact situation where you would want to actually advocate for socialism, just not everywhere. Because as soon as you advocate for socialism somewhere, right, where these people who believe in this socialist ideology can get together and set up whatever the socialist system is that they want, it will fail. Like, it's not going to work as well, and it's going to become apparent. But because we have this system,
has it though? Because you look at Venezuela, and you'd think it's become apparent, but then the socialist just comes back and says, "Well, that's because it was the wrong guy."
Right. Well, this is exactly the point. So the socialism that they're trying to implement, or they want to implement, their brand of socialism, right? It would be better if we had some examples that were, reasonably comparable. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Venezuela is not what they're talking about. I think it's fair enough to say
but
that.
But it's a socialist country,
right?
And so is the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Sure. And if
not straight up communist.
If you compare, often when they compare countries or they bring up countries that are socialist and successful, you can point to other factors that they're successful because of, wealth in terms of resources or something else, right? And it doesn't actually scale to the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. So if you actually had, say, let's say you made, our neighbor here, Vermont, into a true socialist utopia, for better words, lack of better words here, then you made New Hampshire into a true libertarian utopia, for lack of better words, you then actually have something probably to compare that is closer, to similarities in terms of, resource wealth, in terms of, exploitation of the land,
you would.
and so on.
But as you pointed out, it wouldn't work out for Vermont.
I don't think so
the
either.
question is, how quickly would it fail?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because unless they build up a big fence and put a huge barbed wire, inward-facing barbed wire around Vermont to keep people in, to keep the productive class in, you're going to have major flight of the productive class. You're like, well, wait, so you're saying I can't run my business how I want? Oh, you're going to take over my business? Oh, you're going to nationalize me? Okay, well, I'll just go across the border to New Hampshire and open up my store and then, have relative freedom by comparison. I mean, that will happen not overnight, but it'd be pretty fast if true socialism
But this
came
is exactly why I think it would be good to have a similar area, similar population, to compare against, as opposed to something that's, all the way down in South America or, all the way in some far
I agree with you.
off.
Next door neighbors comparison would be interesting.
And the other thing that we should stop doing is blockading, going to war with, harassing, or otherwise troubling those countries that do find themselves socialist.
Let them fail on their own volition, rather than so they can't point to the free country that as the reason for failure.
A lot of people say, "Oh, well, the only reason Cuba's failing is because they can't trade with America." And
it's a factor. It is a factor.
Well,
but it's not the reason they're failing.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Yeah, if you can trade with the rest of the world but not America, you should still be fine.
But that
if you weren't
that'd be
socialist.
another good reason to have a socialist state next to a libertarian state, because the libertarians are not going to refuse to trade with the socialists, and you would have some of that, undermined, because there is some truth to, again, we don't have, free markets, we don't have a free society in America, but it would undermine the ability of what we do have, ability to totally destroy an economy.
Jason, any other thoughts you want to share? Go ahead.
Yes, I do. So I do think that, as we've talked, that teaching the lefties economics is hard, very hard, and does not work. But I think the day of reckoning is coming sooner than the day where they actually are going to feel the effects of being like in Venezuela because of the end of the road for Keynesianism and all the money printing and all the stuff that Chris talks about on his show and you guys talk about. That's going to become more and more real. And those days are not 20 years away anymore. It's like less than a decade.
We'll see, man. They've been saying, people have been predicting financial calamity for the dollar for decades. So, I hope you're right, and I hope that we do see the end of it soon, because it will destroy the state as we know it, because they're backed by the dollar.
On another call, not tonight, I do want to talk about the dollar crash. And I'm actually one of the people that thinks the dollar will not crash, but that we can say that for
Oh, yeah, that does sound interesting. Thanks, Jason, for the call tonight. I do appreciate hearing from you. Let's continue with Carlos. He's on the line in Colorado, listening online. Go ahead, Carlos.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey,
thanks for letting me call in.
Sure.
I've been a listener for a really long time. You guys are pseudo-celebrities to old-time voluntarists like me.
Well, thanks.
But I'm coming to Keene finally. Okay, I've made the dedication. I'm almost 40. It's that time. I've procrastinated long enough, and we're coming really close on 2021 here. So I'm coming in July. Sadly, I'm coming right after the 25th. I think is when I'm going to get there. So it's just after all the fun stuff. But that's okay.
Oh, you're coming July 25th. Okay, because you'd posted on... I must not have read your post properly. You'd posted on the Shire forums, which has Free Talk Live forums in it, at forum.shiresociety.com. And I saw, for whatever reason, I just saw it as June 25th. I'm like, oh, no, you don't want to visit the week of June 25th. We're all leaving to go to the campground. Hang on, Carlos. Hold that thought. We'll continue here with your story in just a moment. The migration of freedom to New Hampshire.
We all need to do our part.
And show that we care.
Look, man.
I wear a mask to protect you.
You wear a mask to protect me.
Let's all wear a mask to stop the spread of coronavirus and save lives.
Good reasons for the public and business owners to wear and offer face masks. But not just any mask. Cheap doesn't mean protection. Sunny-bay.com has the best value of high-quality N95 or disposable face masks anywhere. Get disposable Level 1 face masks now, a 20-pack starting at only $12. Or a 10-pack of N95 respirator masks is only $34. Plus, get free shipping on all orders over $35. Choose your level of protection at sunny-bay.com. Prices are low, but supplies are limited. Get details and order at sunny-bay.com, a Biomed DB design company. Go to sunny-bay.com for disposable or N95 face masks. Ask about volume discounts available for all businesses. Just click sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com.
You know what's really smart?
Wash your hands frequently, practice social distancing, and stay home if told to do so.
You know what's really dumb?
To ignore your immune system.
Right now, more than ever, your health depends on a strong immune system.
The experts at Immunicorp will give you their 7-step guide to immunity for life, free.
Why? Because we want you to be smart and healthy.
Simply call 800-446-3063 or click immunityforlife.com.
Immunicorp has been producing the world's leading immune system products for more than 2 decades.
To get your free 7-step guide to immunity for life, call 800-446-3063. 800-446-3063.
Be smart. Don't ignore your immune system. Your life depends on it.
Call 800-446-3063 or click immunityforlife.com. Immunityforlife.com.
Free Talk Live.
The DEA doesn't dabble with users. They go after the big dogs.
Yeah, I'm certain they have dabbled with users, and they would if they thought they could get something. They would if they thought they could get somewhere with it.
Maybe a user who's snorting 3 pounds a week, something where they could actually connect to a player.
Yeah.
But most users are just buying from other users. I mean, in the cocaine world, when you are a user, you've got to support your habit somehow.
Right.
And if you're not willing to go and knock over convenience stores and break into people's cars and hurt people to get the cash for your habit, then the only other choice for you, if you're not wealthy, is to sell cocaine to others.
Right.
And so most people will go and pick up whatever amount of coke they do, and then they'll sell to certain specific people who are their friends. Like he was saying, he was selling to his neighbor across the street. The DEA is not going to mess with that.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, inviting you to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. The Next Generation Wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches because of their relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at diviproject.org, D-I-V-I project.org. We got lots of calls here. We're going to try to get to everybody. Carlos on the line in Colorado. You were talking about making the move to New Hampshire as part of this freedom migration that has been going on for, I don't know, 15 or so years, I think, 16 years. It started in, I think,
2005, right?
I think the state was voted on by the Free State Project members in late 2003. So technically the move began the very end of 2003. And Carlos, you're saying you're ready to go, and you're currently in Colorado?
I am. I actually first heard of the Free State Project sometime around 2003, I believe. I think when they originally started was like 2001.
That's right.
It was right around the same time that 9/11 happened, if I recall right. But more importantly, that was the fact that the idea has changed so much as far as what liberty is to most Americans. And in this day and age, it's important that we as libertarians or as voluntarists hold true to the core tenets of our beliefs and of that message. And when I see as many people as there are in New Hampshire, I don't feel like that message has gotten lost in translation the way that it has in some other places like Arizona, where I'm originally from, or Texas, where I lived for a while, or even here in Colorado. I feel like you guys are holding true a little bit harder. So it came to the point where I said, I love it here. I'm now a registered firefighter. I'm a certified, firefighter for the state. So what do I do now? Do I look elsewhere? And then it struck me. I already pledged that I was going to move. So now I'm looking to come check it out. I'm going to be there in July 25th or so, somewhere around there. And hopefully there's someone there that might have a couch or a backyard I can hang my hammock in. But I'm looking for what to do. What do I need to see New Hampshire? I won't have a car, so I'll be either hitchhiking or, catching rides where I can. But what do I need to see? What do I need to do? Obviously, I want to go do some Robin Hooding. It's funny. It's been a thing of mine that I've done it in other places, but I want to go to the home of Robin Hooding.
For listeners that don't know, that's where you fill parking meters, expired parking meters. Generally, you want to do it before the meter enforcer reaches the meter, right? So you save somebody from getting a parking ticket. It's actually something that we ended up going to the Supreme Court over years ago because the city of Keene gang sent us a civil suit and tried to come after us for damages for depriving them of their precious revenue, like to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars, because we literally saved thousands of people from getting parking tickets.
I think it was higher than that even, wasn't it?
It was at least tens of thousands of dollars. They ended up paying over $100,000 in attorney's fees to fight the case. So then there was a whole bunch more on top of that. But that was an absolutely successful form of activism. It kind of has died off because the head of it, James Cleveland, ended up moving actually to Colorado, which is where you are right now. So what I would say to answer...
But they also changed the parking meters, which make it kind of
They made it harder in some cases, although the old meters are still there in some parts of the city. Anyway, as far as what you'd want to see, well, I mean, I can't tell you what you want to see, but I would recommend checking out the southern tier of New Hampshire. I mean, there's, of course, a lot more population down here. There's a little bit more to do. Crypto, if you're into cryptocurrency, the Keene, of course, is the king. But Portsmouth is in a close second place behind us, so you definitely want to get out to the seacoast and go see Derek J. and Stephen over at the NEPA headquarters and have them put you on the crypto tour of Portsmouth. There's and then there's like some regular meetups that happen in Manchester for the city people.
See, this is what I need right here. This type of info.
Yeah,
I'm going to be in the forums, guys, so I'll make sure and get this from you there.
That's
too.
the
really
best place to do it, and that's the place where you can crowdsource it. And we'll look forward to seeing you up here, Carlos. And thanks for the call tonight. And that's a great way to get in touch with people who are here. People who have had experience here who can make recommendations is to go to forum.shiresociety.com or forum.freetalklive.com. It all takes you to the same place because, look, forums aren't big enough to have just the Free Talk Live forums. We used to have that years ago. We used to have the Free Talk Live BBS, and there were a ton of people that were active on that before the whole social media thing just kind of took over. So the Shire Society forums have subforums for Free Talk Live, and there's one for Forkfest, and there's even one for Elect Nobody. Right now there's, I think, one post there, but there is a forum there for Elect Nobody. It would be nice if more people utilized forums. Unfortunately, people are so trained to get on social media, and it's tragic because that puts Facebook or Twitter in charge of your posts, and if they don't like what you're doing, like they did with the COVID crackdown, they become agents of the state and will censor the things that you are trying to talk about. The things you're trying to organize will be censored.
Yeah, what would be another good place is I mean I know this is not obviously it's not it's not the perfect place to go, but one of the places that a lot of people in New Hampshire hang out is on Telegram on certain rooms. So like there is a Forkfest room. So if you go to forkfest.party, you could join there too.
There's a link there.
There's a lot more conversations, going on an everyday basis.
With the Telegram is
the forum
is it's real-time chat, and that has its benefits. Yeah. But it also has its drawbacks. And one of the drawbacks of real-time chat is even though Telegram has a good search function, it's still not organized in any meaningful way that you can understand. You just have to, it's just a stream of consciousness of chat. So.
You know, one of the benefits of a forum is you can actually go and search for stuff,
and there's organization as well.
Right.
So topics and
so,
subforums.
You know, unfortunately, it's a challenge because we're not really on as much. I don't think anywhere near as many people are on the forums, and it's hard. It's kind of hard to get on the forum. I mean, it's not hard to get on the forums.
No, it's not hard.
Easy.
There's actually 4 different ways you can send.
It's hard
to
get motivated. I think
you can even use your GitHub login to create a login for the forums. It's actually easy.
Really?
It's super easy. Yeah, you can use Twitter, GitHub, and like a couple other options. I disabled the Facebook login just because it's Facebook, and I'm like, screw that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, or you can use your email and sign up for an account there, and then all you have to do is post one introductory post. There's instructions on how to do it, and this is how we keep some of the bots out of the forum, how we keep some of the spammers out. You just require an introduction post that has to be reviewed by a real human being. That's me. And then, you get let into the forum. And then if you are an actual real live human being, and if we meet you in real life, there's a forum upgrade that you get access to a different area of the forum, if you're not just like somebody on the internet that we've never met before. So check it out at forum.shiresociety.com as we go to someone calling themselves The Jerk, calling from nowhere. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello? Hello, The Jerk, calling from nowhere. I heard somebody on the line. It does sound like someone.
Speaking of censoring people.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, it's me. Yeah, you do it all the time. You censor people, just like the nobody that never tells the truth doesn't want to talk to me because he's afraid that he'll be eviscerated on public airways.
I don't think that's his issue, but you can go ahead and speculate all you want.
It is his issue. And the reason why he won't take me on in the ring as he challenged me to is because he knows already.
It's probably just because you're boring, really. That's all it is.
I'm
repetitive,
just responding to what he...
And boring. Well, there's no point in responding. He's not listening to you.
I'm responding to what he said.
Okay, well, he didn't listen. He's not listening to you. And you've responded before, and you're boring, and you're insulting. Goodbye.
He says we censor him, but the reality is he calls in frequently, and not only does he call in frequently, which is not a problem so much, but he doesn't actually get censored. We let him talk, and longer than he deserves. How many
people would actually tolerate that loser?
Oh, I didn't let him talk much there.
No,
okay, so I'm not
you really did.
You didn't, but you don't cut him off. Like if somebody was censoring
cut him off.
you,
I definitely cut him off there.
You cut him off
because all he did was he said he's fat, he's ugly. He was just insulting nobody. That's all.
But you didn't cut him off right away. You could have cut him off as soon as you recognized who he was, and you didn't do that. You gave him a chance to say something that was not.
He could have said something new.
Right.
Exactly. Something new to
have
the
a conversation, but he doesn't.
No. We go on. Let's talk to Ryan. He's in North Carolina. Ryan, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Welcome. You're on the air.
Great. I have a big problem with our outreach program. We are the best philosophy, and we have the worst outreach. I can not turn the TV on without seeing some kind of political indoctrination. But I never see libertarian political indoctrination, and I'm here now proposing a libertarian slush fund to put old Brett Burnett and Tom Woods clips on TV in front of people on local news stations. I think it would open a lot of people's eyes.
Okay, so you want to put libertarian video clips on broadcast television stations? Is that right?
Absolutely.
Hold that thought, Ryan. I want to talk about it with you here, so stand by. We'll bring you back in hour number 3. Is this a good plan? I mean, money's limited as far as libertarian fundraising is concerned. Would you want to? I mean, if you can raise the money to do it, then do it. But is it the most effective way to spend hard-earned libertarian dollars is to buy time on television to reward them?
When you first heard about Bitcoin, how long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more, and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,726, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,400. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, last week in Missouri, a 25-year-old woman named Hannah Pfizer was shot and killed by an officer with the Pettis County Sheriff's Office during a routine traffic stop. Pfizer was reportedly pulled over because she was speeding and passed through a red light. The officer, who has not been named, claimed that she threatened to shoot him, but no gun was found in the vehicle. The Missouri State Highway Patrol is now working the case, claiming to be an impartial outside agency. In an initial statement from the Highway Patrol, they referred to Pfizer as a suspect instead of a victim, and accused her of threatening to shoot the deputy. However, she did not actually have a gun on her, and there is no footage from a dash cam or body cam that would corroborate the officer's story. Family and friends say she was on her way to work, and that she was a friendly person who never carried weapons. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. In a seeming reversal on Facebook's position that it would not remove political speech, the social media giant removed 88 ads on Thursday, posted by the accounts of President Donald Trump, Vice President Mike Pence, and the Trump campaign, on the grounds that they violated company policies against organized hate. The identical ads went after leftists and so-called Antifa, or anti-fascist groups, that prominently featured an inverted red triangle outlined in black, a symbol that Nazi German authorities used during World War II to identify political dissenters who were incarcerated in concentration camps. Other versions of the ad that are visible in Facebook's ad library use identical language and alternative clip art, such as exclamation points and stop signs. In a statement, Trump campaign spokesperson Tim Murtaugh defended the use of the Nazi symbol by claiming that it's an emoji that's widely used by activists opposed to fascism. The Vallejo Police Department was warned by rushing to purchase a cell site simulator without first crafting a use policy. The agency sidestepped its legal duty to transparency. Now, Oakland Privacy has filed a first-of-its-kind suit to ensure the public has a say in how such controversial surveillance technology is deployed in their communities. Activist Post reports that cell site simulators are devices that police use to gather information from cell phones, typically to locate, identify, and track people. Also known as IMSI catchers, the devices pretend to be cell phone towers in order to trick phones into connecting to them. The technology is so controversial that in 2015, the California legislature stepped in and passed Senate Bill 741, a law that ensures a police department cannot acquire cell site simulator usage without a city council first approving a detailed policy. In mid-March, amid COVID-19 shelter-in-place orders, the Vallejo City Council approved a $766,000 purchase of a cell site simulator manufactured by KeyW. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Nothing you do or say will ever reach the lofty heights attained by the following news summary. This is the Onion Week in Review. Facing increased market pressure and a shrinking bottom line, media company Star Trove was forced to lay off dozens of unskilled bloggers this week. Sources confirmed that before being dismissed, many of the bloggers had been with the company for months, regularly performing menial tasks such as describing celebrity outfits and composing quizzes about Disney characters.
I mean, I'd been with this company for almost a year. It wasn't the most rewarding job, and I didn't have health insurance, but it paid the bills. I'm already 25 years old. I just don't know where to go from here.
In other news, a 6-day visit to a rural African village completely changes a woman's Facebook profile picture. A new dating website helps plus-size Jewish plane crash survivors find love. And a kid figures he'll go down the slide 36 more times and then call it a day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, launching into the third hour of the program. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, you've got Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
We're going to go back into your phone calls and thoughts. And, you know, we started the show talking about the new mask order in California and went all over the place since then.
Are we still on that?
Well, we haven't been on it for probably 2 hours now, or almost 2 hours.
I know, right?
But there is more to say about the mask crackdown. It is not lightening up in some places. In other places, North Carolina woman has started a Burn Your Mask Challenge to ignite freedom, which I like the sound of that. Plus, AMC theaters under fire by the mask people who are mad that AMC is not going to enforce a mask rule at their theaters. So there's a boycott in effect on that. But we've got more with you, your calls and thoughts. Ryan in North Carolina, you called in. We got you on the very end of the last segment there in hour number 2. And I just want to make sure I understood the proposal. You were frustrated by the lack of libertarian media that's available on, platforms like television. And so your idea was to take libertarian video clips like by people like by Brett Venot from the School Sucks Project. You mentioned his name. You mentioned Tom Woods. So take these good or great libertarian communicators and put them on broadcast television. Was that your proposal?
Yeah, man, it seems to be for me at least, I'm not sure how we'll view libertarianism was it was self-baiting in that I kind of have my own curiosity about it. I looked into it, and then confirmation bias kind of seemed to take me a long way. But I think a lot of these people were never exposed to a lot of the good ideas. If they heard the root idea, they'd be like, "Oh, that's awesome," and maybe you never told them what it was. And then at the end of the road, they realized for themselves, "Oh, this just has a term associated with it, libertarianism. Well, I'm that now." But think about all the successful ad campaigns that have kind of made you, buy a drink, or that made you go out your way to, get a product. We're libertarians. We're supposed to be the capitalist entrepreneur, bros. this should be us, man.
Have you ever looked into advertising costs, because they're substantial?
Yeah,
It's expensive.
I
And by the way, I don't want to be rude or anything like that, but if you can back off your microphone, for whatever reason, your phone is not handling this call very well, or maybe it's our board operator or something's turned up too loud somewhere, but if you could physically back away from the microphone, that might help.
Yeah, how am I now?
That's better so far. Go ahead. So you were saying you have looked into advertising costs or have not yet?
I actually have. I've got the cost list from. I'm near Charlotte, North Carolina. So I actually got the WBTV Charlotte cost. I had them email it to me, and they asked what it was. It was like, is anything political? And I was like, well, it's political in that it tends to be kind of apolitical to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't delve into it. I don't know how problematic it would be, but I
So wait, the WBT was saying they don't want political ad content?
No, they just prodded on the subject. They were like, "Is it political?" And I thought,
I see. That's probably because they have a different rate card for politics. They probably have more expensive rates or something like that for people they consider to be politicians. Honestly, I don't know, but there usually is a different rate card.
I would think
for politics.
I would think it would be, if you're trying to promote a candidate, that would be politics.
Well, that's just the thing. They're trying to figure out whether or not you qualify for whatever the political rate card would be. That's just my guess. Having been in broadcast, you what?
I held my cards close. I didn't get much into it.
So what are they charging on WBT television, which is a big station?
WBT, like the big chart. I would actually have to look it back up now. It wasn't anything outrageous. For a block, at prime time, it was a little more costly than
Now hold on. Are you going to buy a long form block, or are you talking about like a 30-second or 60-second advertisement?
I would take anything I could get. Look, if our whole modus operandi is, we go into a lot of these elections saying, well, the points education, that's fine, but we really don't spend a lot as a community on education. I mean, there's a lot of people who have like time commitments like you guys, and you have your advertisers, and I listen to a steady stream of Libertarians. But again, that's because I seek it out. But if we put it in front of people who don't seek it out, I think we're going to broaden our community.
Hey, look, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. Because we do that here on Free Talk Live, right? We've got a broadcast radio show on 195 radio stations, coast to coast. I don't know how many hours that is per week for each of those stations, because they're all different. Some of them take us 7 days a week. Some take us one night a week. Some take us 2 hours a week, or some take us 21 hours. So it just depends. But we are getting the word out there. We're thankfully not paying for that airtime. We've earned it based on the merit of having a decent show, hopefully, and all of these stations. We don't pay for the airtime. So there's nothing inherently wrong with paying for airtime, but it is an expensive proposition. And some people might say, and I'm not saying I believe this, but I'm just going to throw this objection at you and see what you say about it. Some people would say that you're rewarding the very people who've been acting as gatekeepers in the past, that these television companies haven't done us any favors over the years, so why line their pockets with ad revenue?
Because they provide a product, in this case a service, for a price that I think is probably going to be worth it. At the end of the day, that's what else is capitalism than exchanging something value for value. We both come out on top. They get their money, we get our ad space, and hopefully have a more broad community.
Yeah, so
that's the point, right?
I don't think your general idea is bad in terms of marketing to other, to people that we're not currently marketing to and hitting. I've sort of done that a little bit, but I've built off of so I go to a lot of events, a lot of tech events that have a good percentage.
Back when they had events.
Yeah, back when they had the events. About 12 times a year, and I took advantage of that to promote things like Forkfest and, the migration movement and so on.
The Linux community. Promoting liberty to the different communities.
So I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea, but I do think it probably needs to be taken in, what's the most effective way of doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I target the communities that I am involved in that aren't necessarily aware, that I know that there's a larger percentage of people, it's more targeted, and because I'm already paying for that advertising, it kind of makes sense to then throw a little bit of money into have a big not blow up sign, but a big sign at my booth that we have when we go to these events. That makes sense, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to do that, relatively speaking, and we don't generally have a lot of money like the community. We spend.
The Libertarian community does not have a lot of money either.
Yeah,
so would this be something that you're going to be fundraising? Ryan, are you going to be fundraising for this? Is that your plan?
I'm just kind of riffing an idea. I don't have any. If I had to fundraise something, I would have no idea how to. But I mean, I guess I could.
That's the biggest challenge. I mean, I wish I could say I was good at it, but I'm not. I mean, the Free Talk Live AMP program, which has been around now for 15 years, is at one of its lowest points in the last decade. So, like, even though we're out here night after night after night getting the message of freedom out there in a way that, honestly, no one else on the radio is. There's no one else who's doing it at the level that we are. And we do it for next to nothing. We really do. And the amount of support that we get is next to next to nothing. I'm not saying I don't appreciate the people who do. There's about 200 or 185 people who back the show up on the AMP program. And then we've got a handful of advertisers that are fantastic. And we make it work. But it's not like libertarians are throwing a bunch of money around. If there's rich libertarians out there, they're not banging down our door. That's for sure. Now, maybe you'll have better luck than we will on this, and I do hope that it pans out. And then the other thing that you were talking about, Chris, is like venue. Do you want to take your ads to WBT, which is just a I don't know if they're ABC or what they are, what their affiliation is, but they're just a local big television station. Or do you go on the cable system and do you buy MTV? Do you buy Black Entertainment Television? Do you buy, Lifestyle? Because then you can get a little more targeted with your demographics and who might be watching the programming there. So have you thought about that at all? Like which venue would actually be the right one, or more than one?
No, I haven't thought about that in depth at all, because all I've thought about is I want to put something. Ideally, I want to put something in front of people who haven't had an option to see this before. I want to go in front of a broad audience who's like, "What, libertarian? What, you voted for Bernie Sanders?" Like, no, dude, you don't get it. And be like, here's a way to think about things that I think you're going to be in line with. I think we all know that the biggest voting bloc in this country is non-voters. So if you're and it's not idyllic non-voters. It's not like there's a bunch of fans of bystander Spooner out there.
I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the idea, and I hope that you'll report back some good news. Thank you, Ryan, for sharing that. More coming up. Vegas 2020 is a conference about changing the world through personal actualization and creation through markets. Get inspired to better yourself and better the world. Speakers include Jim Bell, Larkin Rose, Avins O'Brien, G. Edward Griffin, Walter Block, Amanda Rockwitz, Ernie Hancock, and more. Get your tickets for just $20.20 at anarchovegas.com and use code FTL to save 10% off VIP tickets. July 19th, join Free Talk Live for anarchovegas.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And by the way, coming up tonight, nobody's back. I mean, nobody's been here the whole time, but
nobody ever leaves.
Nobody will return with Nobody Tells the Truth, which is the brand new internet-only show that we're doing on Fridays. And it starts shortly after the end of this radio program. So right around 10 p.m., just maybe about 5 or 6 minutes after the top of the hour, Nobody will be live on our DLive channel at dlive.lrn.fm or our Twitch channel at Twitch, I guess I should say, and our Twitch channel at twitch.lrn.fm. You can follow us on either of those platforms, and you can interact or just listen or watch to Nobody Tells the Truth, coming up tonight after 10 p.m. Eastern Time when we get off the air from the radio show. Intercoin's architecture enables programmable coins with a variety of applications. Merchants could add tags like books, food, or clothing to their products, and authorized users can see statistics on how money was spent. Experts can analyze the local economy. Donors and investors can have more confidence. Everyone in the community can have a real-time consumer price index to inform their democratic decision-making and address issues like rising prices or shrinking wages. Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in meat space. We think that's important here on Free Talk Live, so we accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Incorporated for advertising. If you think freedom is important too, check out Intercoin at intercoin.org. You can invest in this project and potentially make big gains or just be involved and perhaps shape its future. Intercoin.org. As we go back to your calls, your thoughts. Gene, the Christian anarchist, is on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Gene.
Hey, I want to talk to the smartest person in the room there. Put Jazzy on, would you?
Oh, zing. She's asleep.
Wow.
Sorry.
No, I wanted to say that BLM has lost me, you know, and I've been fighting, trying to do whatever I could to raise awareness about police brutality for 40 years. So, you know, don't talk to me about police brutality. I know all about it. But I had hopes. I had dreams that this BLM thing was going to actually make a change in policing in this country. And
Really?
they had a darn good start at it. They started out, they had this issue by the short hairs. They were having victory in getting real talk about police, about changing this police brutality in this country. And then they just threw it all away. And they got on these crazy little offshoots, Aunt Jemima and pulling down statues and all of this stuff. And now the goons are threatening to not go to work. And so now all the little Karens in the whole country are panicking because the police won't be there. So the police are going to have everybody kissing their rear end so that they can go back to work. And they've thrown this whole thing out the window. And
that sounds like a perfect
angry.
opportunity. I got to say, I haven't been paying close attention outside of the we covered the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone over the weekend in some level of detail here, so I don't know what quote unquote Black Lives Matter has been doing, because I know the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone is bigger than just Black Lives Matter. So what has Black Lives Matter been doing? If it's true that the obviously the Atlanta situation blew up over the last few days, so there's been some pretty serious goings on there with the most recent police shooting that, of course, lit off some more protests down in Atlanta. But ultimately, if the police aren't going to show up, that seems like an opportunity for the market to respond and actually offer protection services to people and fill
I would love
the
to
gap.
see the police not showing up, and that we would have alternatives to having these goons threatening us daily. But instead, they're very smart. They're turning this around now, and I can see it happening. I can see what's coming. The people are going to be panicking. Oh my God, the goons aren't here to push us around, and who's going to keep us safe? And they're going to, you watch, they're going to bow to the police unions again. They're going to scream and holler for those people to come back. And all of this is going right out the window. It's on its way down. Just like I see a lot of parallels between this and the Cultural Revolution in China and what happened in South Africa and all the this whole talk about repercussions for people.
Reparations
now look at
or
in South
repercussions?
Africa, they want to take all the white people's property away from them in South Africa. Like that's going to make a difference. It's not.
The situation's a little bit different there because of the population or the racial divide, so to speak. There's a small white population amongst a large black population, and you just don't have that in the United States. The reverse is true.
Well, but they're pushing for those reparations now, and they're not going to stop, because if you give them a little bit of reparations here, that they turn around and they're going to want more reparations. Who's going to pay for all that? The taxpayers.
You're 100% right that the reparations are
and it's not going to make
not
it
right.
Okay, look, even if some people get some kind of money out of the government, right? Because that's where the reparation's going to come from. It's not like that's going to all of a sudden make the police behave. It's going to mean that they're going to beat you down and you got $1,000 in your pocket now.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you're part of this group that ends up getting reparations, take it. But I'm going to advocate against it.
Study the Cultural Revolution. They're gonna be wanting to hang plaques around people's necks because they did blackface when they were in college, or pick your sin, whatever your big sin is. Now, we got rid of racism in 69, 70, 71. I was part of the movement, and we did not have racism. We were black and white side by side, and we were actually we didn't look at race. We had actually eliminated it in 69 and 70. Now they're bringing it all back. They're stirring all this hatred up.
Well, it's important to keep people separated and keep people angry at one another so they don't find the real cause of the problem, which is the state.
You want to keep the little people fighting with each other rather than fighting with
right.
the powers
well,
that
this
be.
is why BLM has lost me. They have started to stir up racism.
That's not
They're
good.
falling into this. They're falling into this trap of saying us against them. And what's really it's not black against white. It's the 1% against the 99%. And they have completely lost track of the issue.
I got a message from Vincent, former co-host on Free Talk Live. He says he's been covering the CHAZ, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone in Seattle.
Is he actually there?
In great detail. No, but he has been doing a lot of research, pulling up a lot of video, and covering it on his internet show that he's been doing. And he says that there's now a no filming policy that is being violently enforced.
Oh boy!
At least by some of the people in the CHAZ, allegedly. So you got a real interesting situation there
because you have socialists there, and
Can end up with another
socialists
dictatorship.
are not good people.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
think some of them probably
They're not.
I think
they're good.
I think that people have good intents, but that doesn't necessarily mean that
because
their actions
they
are...
insist on using violence against those who aren't going to go along with their social program.
Right. And that's their behavior. That's their action. Their action is bad, but their intent is good. And that's not to say that I advocate for their...
Most people who do things we consider to be evil do not consider those things to be evil as they are doing them. And Gene, thank you for the call tonight. They believe they're doing good, and that you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, and whatever other colloquial phrases and euphemisms they use to justify their violence, their support of violence, or they're trying to ignore the fact that violence is involved so they can feel like they have washed their hands of it. Oh, well, I'm not enforcing the laws. That's the man with the badge.
But you voted for that man with the badge.
There's more coming up here. It's Free Talk Live. Anarcho Vegas 2020 is a conference about changing the world through personal actualization and creation through markets. Get inspired to better yourself and better the world. Speakers include Jim Bell, Larkin Rose, Avins O'Brien, G. Edward Griffin, Walter Block, Amanda Rockwitz, Ernie Hancock, and more. Get your tickets for just $20.20 at anarchovegas.com and use code FTL to save 10% off VIP tickets. July 19th, join Free Talk Live for anarchovegas.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually.
Whoa, hey,
Who do you think
Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Forget it.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me.
What am I being detained for? You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You dial toll free and bring in whatever you want. You can take control of the airwaves here. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
Also, want to make sure you know about Liberty stickers. You can easily spread the message of freedom by driving around. Because you can put some pretty creative bumper stickers on your car, or maybe your, skateboard or your bicycle or wherever it is you can put them. The back of your laptop. There's all kinds of good spots for bumper stickers where people will see them and maybe they'll think about them, and it costs a lot less than buying television advertising. You can go to libertystickers.com. That is where you can find a huge selection of some pretty witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages. And they'll also do custom work. So, if you've got a campaign that you're working on, or maybe you've got a business that you want to promote, or an event or something like that, or you just want to make your own funny bumper sticker, you can do that over at libertystickers.com. You can connect with them, and they will do whatever you need them to, and it's pretty affordable. That's where we get the Free Talk Live bumper stickers. If you want a free example of the quality of these stickers, just go to promote.freetalklive.com. You'll find a mailing address there. You send a self-addressed stamped envelope to that address, and then I will send you a bumper sticker back in that envelope. It is that simple, and it costs you nothing but the time it takes to send that in the mail to us. We're going to go back to your phone calls and thoughts. He is Dave Ridley. He's on our Discord lines at discord.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey guys, I wanted to talk about there's this growing trend in New Hampshire where, supposedly historically we have this thing where each bill in the legislature is only supposed to deal with one subject, and that was violated somewhat a few months ago when they just tacked on a smoking ban or smoking restriction on top of their budget. Just threw it in there.
Really?
And that's not supposed to be done, but it was done. And
when you say a smoking ban, what does that mean? What did they do?
A smoking restriction. I don't know. There have been so many different smoking restriction attempts lately. I don't remember which one this was.
Okay.
It's slightly restricted smoking. A little bit more. Took the age down a little bit. Something like that. I don't remember the exact details.
Okay. Yeah, I thought didn't they raise the age to 21 statewide?
Yeah, I think something like that.
Maybe, but again,
or was that federal?
The problem is the problem is the process. They just stuck it into a unrelated bill.
Right.
So anyway, so that process is now multiplied, and what's happened is they submitted a bill and I guess passed it, or at least they submitted it and it came up for a vote recently, where it's just a bill about heating some state buildings, but they've just added 39 other things to it, like the federal government would, right? There's all these other issues that are dumped in there, completely unrelated in many cases.
So they're violating their own rules.
I guess. I mean, I thought there was a rule in New Hampshire that you weren't supposed to do that.
I thought there was as well.
The legislature.
Yeah, that was my understanding too.
So, if I forgot the bill number, let me get it
maybe
here.
Maybe they're going to use COVID as an excuse, because now COVID is the excuse for everything. We were on the line with a bank today, Nobody and I, and they used the excuse, well, because of COVID, the bank had to shut down the department that we needed to talk to, or at least they shut down the phone lines to the department that we needed to talk to, and there was no way to reach them directly by phone thanks to COVID. Well, now, thanks to COVID, the Keene City Council, for instance, here in Keene, New Hampshire, doesn't have physical in-person meetings anymore. If you wanted to go in and actually think you could have like some sort of physical like to speak to these people and maybe try to change their minds, well, now you can't do that. Now you got to get it on Zoom, as though that somehow replaces real life.
What if you can't use Zoom?
Sure. What if you don't have an internet connection? Sorry, you don't have access to your supposed government anymore.
And you don't even have access to the libraries. We could borrow a computer.
Right.
Because they closed the library.
Yeah, so everything has government is less public than it's ever been. It's more closed off than ever, more secluded, more sequestered than it's ever been, and they get to use the medical situation as their excuse, and people, they're buying it.
So this is House Bill 1234, and I would not have heard about it if it hadn't been for the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance Gold Standard.
And that's an excellent organization, the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. They make a recommendation sheet. That's what the gold standard is, essentially a recommendation voting sheet for all the state legislators. And there's over 400. There's 400 in the reps, and then there's 24 senators. And they make one for every single one of these folks to recommend to them, okay, well, here's all the issues you're going to be asked to vote on today. And here's what the liberty viewpoint is on these issues. Here's how you would vote if you supported freedom on these issues, so to give them some alternatives than what they're being told by the Republicans and the Democrats. They do some great work. Dave, what else did you want to share?
I believe this was voted on in the Senate last week. I don't know which way the vote went.
Yeah, I don't either. Here's what I'd recommend. You can go to gencourtmobile.com. I believe it's .com. Gen, G-E-N as in general, courtmobile.com. Some free staters made this really easy to use, really slick, well-programmed website where you can search for any bill number in the state of New Hampshire, and it will come up with that bill. It'll come up with how the votes were on the bill, or if there's a vote scheduled, or if there's a hearing scheduled. It's one of the most useful legislative tools I've ever come across. So if you haven't checked that out yet, you could just go to that website, and you don't have to be in New Hampshire to do this. You could go anywhere, because there's some people that actually help the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance from outside of New Hampshire. They will actually, for instance, you don't need to live here to read a bill, right? Like if you want to, if you like reading bills, which I don't know why people like it, but there's some people who do. You can help out the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. So some people have wanted to know, well, what can I do to help out you guys, even though I'm in Arizona or I'm in, Texas, because there's nothing going on for freedom there. So maybe you could help remotely what's happening here in New Hampshire. If you can't move here, you can still do things. So check out nhliberty.org. It's a great organization. I support them. And Dave, thanks for the call tonight. That's Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com. As we continue, we got Vernon. He's in New Orleans. Vernon, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
So I had a comment, but what you just said, I brought another comment. So two comments. One, I personally think that government has been more accessible than ever. I've been able to watch Supreme Court live. I've been able to watch local court. All the local courts are now using Zoom. I can even Zoom into these city and county council meetings, and as long as I let them know I'd like to talk, I'm welcome to talk. Because it's so much more convenient, because you had to go down to the courthouse, you had to go to these places to participate, but now you can participate wherever you're at. So
are you okay with the discrimination against people who don't have access to these tools?
I mean, with Zoom, you can call in on a telephone without even having to have internet. So I believe that 90-something%.
How would you get the phone number? I guess you could call the government and ask them what the call-in line is.
It's published beforehand in the newspaper. If you have a newspaper, they're still using that. So I think they've tried to make it as accessible as possible for people. Real quick, I wanted to ask a question about the AMP program, though. So I may have made some wrong assumptions, and many other people may have as well. So why should I help out a commercial radio, like a commercial radio show that sells commercials to support what you do versus, I can totally support a non-commercial one because obviously they don't have any other money sources. But why is the AMP program important to a commercial radio show? Thank you.
Well, you don't have to do anything. I mean, you can do whatever you want. So I wouldn't say to anyone they have to do anything. I mean, you can listen to Free Talk Live for as long as you want. We're going to be free. We continue to be free. This is not a commercial show that's like other commercial shows in that we're run by a church. I think, but we do sell advertising.
I think if you don't mind, let me add something. So I don't think that's certainly true. But the reason you should support it is because of what the program is intending to do. It's to bring a message of freedom to more people.
Right, but he's saying you already have advertisers, so why support?
Because there's it's a commercial show, but you're promoting it to more. The idea is to promote it to more than what you otherwise would be promoting it to.
Yes, that is the idea. But look, if it's offensive to you, then don't do it. I don't care. If you want to do it, that'd be great, because the more people that do it, the more it tells us that people support what we do. And there's some sort of messaging there, like, hey, if there was absolutely no one who was supporting what we did directly, then I would really question whether it was worth it at all to do it. Plus, if advertisers drop off, it's nice to have a group of direct support that you can rely on as well. We're coming up. Free Talk Live.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. Silverlungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
This is a pandemic survival alert, and the most time-sensitive messages you will hear this year. You still have time to plant a 1-acre crisis garden and secure a supply of your own nutrient-dense food. But time is running out, and it's one deadline you don't want to miss. Who should plant a crisis garden? Individuals, families, churches, communities, anyone or any group that sees hard times ahead. Let's face it, even the mainline media is talking about food supply disruptions and the growing number of grocery store workers who are becoming sick. But there's more. Meat packing plants are closing, mile-long lines at food pantries, and more farmers now in financial trouble. The truth is, growing nutrient-dense vegetables this summer may be the single most important thing you do. Go to survivalseedbank.com and watch the new video to understand what we're really up against. Get free bonus seeds, special quarantine reports too. Don't wait. Every minute counts. Go to survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com.
Houseflies defecate every 4 to 5 minutes, spreading diseases and germs. Protect your food and your health with Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic, no batteries required, only $39.95. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. Enough time maybe for you if you get on the phones with us now. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You can join us online at freetalklive.com and enjoy the features that we have there. And yes, those features are free. The last caller had described us as a commercial radio show. And I guess we meet the definition of commercial in that we have commercials, and it's on commercial radio stations. But actually, Free Talk Live has, we do have a couple of non-commercial stations that air the show Well, how's that possible? Well, that's because we're okay with a station that is what they call a non-com in the business, meaning they're not allowed to run commercials. If they want to cut out our commercial breaks and put our content on the air, I'm okay with it. I mean, obviously our advertisers would like to be on, but they can't be on that particular format. And to me, it's about getting the message of freedom out more than it is about making money. If I wanted to make money, there's a lot more things I could do than go on the radio, because it is not a high-paying job, okay? Most people in radio are not making the kind of money that Rush Limbaugh makes. Almost no one makes that level of that has that level of success. So the AMP program...
Is Rush Limbaugh making what Rush Limbaugh makes anymore?
I think he's doing pretty well. He's at the end of his career. He's very, very wealthy. But anyway, so Free Talk Live is a show that exists to spread a message. If it wasn't, then we could become more corporate friendly, let's say. We could pander to the statist viewpoint, for instance. We would have, if we would have pandered to the COVID stuff that was going on, we wouldn't have lost our station in Wisconsin that we lost.
I can only see benefits to having commercials on a show that advocates for a particular message anyway, because still that in and of itself would also enable you to spread the message further.
Yes, yeah.
So this idea that you would want to go like somehow non-profit just doesn't make any sense to me from getting your message out there.
I think it's true of most people who have on businesses that have multiple revenue streams. Is the reason you have more than one is because one is insufficient.
Right. Yeah. If you lose one, if there's a huge advertiser boycott against this show, then we still have the AMP program that we can connect directly with. It was one of the most important things. The AMP program was one of the most important factors in why we were commercially successful. And just because you're a commercial radio show doesn't mean that you're for profit. This is operated by a church. It is a church organization, and the money that comes in here from revenue goes back out into other church projects. So it's not even a for-profit organization in that way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I just don't understand this mindset. This is silly to be upset over.
Maybe he was trolling. I don't know.
Maybe
he wasn't upset. Whatever. You don't have to buy the AMP program. You get some perks, so that's another reason why. Like, you get some bennies that the average listener doesn't get. You get a special access to the chat rooms on the supporters chat
copyright rooms. That's the other thing I wanted to point out was there's no I believe what is your statement on the copyright front?
I am against copyright.
Yeah, so I think that's another thing to point out, that nobody is telling you not to take this program, and
nobody has not said that.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So no one on this show has said, and I believe, Ian, you've advocated for people to take this show and cut it up and do basically what they want with it.
Honestly, if you can make money off of selling Free Talk Live, I don't care. I mean, that's great, man. If you want to take our logo and put it on T-shirts and compete with the official Free Talk Live gear, it doesn't bother me. Johnson cannot sue you over that. We don't claim ownership of those things. They're just ideas. You can't own an idea. You can share an idea. You can copy an idea. You can copy an idea 1,000,000 times, and you never take the idea away from the original person who had it.
There's so much, it's funny, is so much reminds me of free software. People are under this impression that free software is, this thing that you don't have to pay for, and that's not the idea behind free software. It's about the liberty. It's about the freedom to do what you want with the software that you receive. It's not about the cost. You can actually sell free software because the word free doesn't mean no cost. It means liberty.
It can mean no cost. I mean,
it can be, but that's not what free software. Okay, so
that's not what
motivates. Free software is there's a specific meaning to the word free software. Now, I understand people will use free software to mean no cost as well, but when somebody who supports free software says that they're a free software supporter, that's not what they're talking about. They're not talking about encouraging people not to have to pay for software. What they're encouraging is people's not having control over their own devices.
Openness.
Yeah, right.
Open source and hardwares and such.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go back to your calls and thoughts. We got WiltonWoody.com on the line here with us. Hey there.
Hi. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update to my saga that has developed.
Yeah, for listeners that don't that weren't tuned in, I think it was last night when you called in for the first time. The state of New York has targeted you. You had made a sculpture of a phallus in your front lawn, basically, and I forget. I think you were protesting your busybody neighbor. Wasn't that what it was about?
Yeah, the neighbor in the town for revoking my building permit.
Oh, that's right. They revoked. Yeah, so you had a garage you were working on, or a workshop that you were 80% done with. They pulled the permit in the midst of you constructing this thing, and so you constructed a protest penis, and it was, and you made a website, wiltonwoody.com, WILTON Woody.com. So what's the latest?
Well, you guys definitely called it. After I got off the phone with you guys yesterday, I saw a message from Channel News 13, and they came this morning and did a story. So that was pretty interesting.
Has it aired yet, the story, or is it still to come?
It has, yeah. You can find it at WNYT.com.
Okay, cool. How was it? Was it slanted, fair?
It was pretty fair.
Okay.
They actually interviewed the DA, which was interesting.
The guy charging you criminally with having a phallus, an art phallus?
Correct. That's actually a woman. And,
so I noticed on your website here, wiltonwoody.com, down towards the end of the page, there is an update, June 18th, 2020. You appear to have posted a 12-minute long video which shows
state the arrest.
So what happened? Yeah, this is a lengthy video. I haven't watched it yet, but we did kind of jump through it during one of the breaks and eyeball what was happening in the video. It looks like they threatened you and you took down the sculpture?
Yeah, so that's the other thing I wanted to mention is my experience with police interaction was a little lacking. I had been a good boy. And it didn't occur to me that when they showed up, they did not have a court order for me to remove that. I was never presented a court order. The cop just kind of said, 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're going to take it down. 2, I got to bring you to the station.
No, I would not have taken it down.
Yeah.
You
did all the work for him.
that.
Yeah.
In the video, you can see
it's okay. It's okay. You're a noob, and you'll learn with time.
Guns,
They have guns, and they aren't afraid to use them. In the video, I'm like, what is he doing? Oh my God, he's getting in the. You're getting in like the caterpillar or whatever, and pulling, using that to take the thing down, and then you move it over to a different part of the yard, and then I presume it was at the very end of the video where they arrest you because it wasn't real clear what happened there.
Yeah, yep, they arrest me there.
So you knew they were going to arrest you, and you still went through the motions.
It's okay. It's okay.
We've all made mistakes.
Anytime you have an interaction with the cop, there's some mistake or something that you're like, oh, I should have done this differently or that differently or said this or said that. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Because if you just left it up, they'd have arrested you anyway.
Yeah, right.
And you'd have been charged anyway. And they probably wouldn't have charged you with other things.
Most of the time, when they're going to arrest you, they've already decided that.
Well, no, they can't take it down without a court order, probably, but they can convince you to do it, and they did. They
I hope you put it back
you.
up.
I plan to.
Oh, you're going to put it back up?
Yeah, because again, it wasn't a court order.
Have you contacted the ACLU of New York?
I have not, but that is a good point. I should contact them.
Yeah, especially now that you've got some TV. Go ahead and link them the TV report, link them your YouTube video, and link them your website so they know what's going on. There is a chance that they may be interested in this on a free speech basis. Sounds like it'd be right up their alley.
It's definitely possible. Just keep in mind that they're just because if they turn you down, that it's not necessarily because they don't support
Sometimes
it.
they're too busy.
It's not even so much that they're too busy, but they take on cases specifically that will achieve a certain outcome. And if the case doesn't look like it's going to achieve a certain outcome, they might have another case to achieve that same outcome. That's better suited. So.
Yeah, I think that this is a winner.
From what I've read, it's pretty clear-cut First Amendment case. Also, did you guys notice I put a shout-out to your Free Talk Live on the website?
I did notice that, and thank you for that. Over at wiltonwoody.com. Thank you. What was your name again? I only know you as wiltonwoody.com because that's your name on there.
My name's Jamie.
What did they charge you with?
It's like a lewd
24511.
Yeah,
it's
we
the
looked
same
it up.
Thing that,
okay. Out of time, man. Thanks. Keep us in the loop, though. Really appreciate hearing from you. We'll see you tomorrow online. In the meantime, freetalklive.com.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had got involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,726, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,400. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, last week in Missouri, a 25-year-old woman named Hannah Pfizer was shot and killed by an officer with the Pettis County Sheriff's Office during a routine traffic stop. Pfizer was reportedly pulled over because she was speeding and passed through a red light. The officer, who has not been named, claimed that she threatened to shoot him, but no gun was found in the vehicle. The Missouri State Highway Patrol is now working the case, claiming to be an impartial outside agency. In an initial statement from the Highway Patrol, they referred to Pfizer as a suspect instead of a victim, and accused her of threatening to shoot the deputy. However, she did not actually have a gun on her, and there is no footage from a dash cam or body cam that would corroborate